All right, that says we're going. Good morning, everyone. You'll undoubtedly notice that this is a little abnormal if you pay attention to the blog work that we do here at the Core Finance Group, as well as the subsequent video blog to that written one. Normally, we do those on a Tuesday, and for weeks, well, not weeks because we don't do it every week, it's like every other week, twice a month. I have jinxed it clearly by saying, hey, we didn't have any technical issues and everybody got their email, and now we're able to do the video blog. And yeah, 24 hours short or 24 hours late at this point. So we're a day behind on this stuff. Hopefully that didn't create too much confusion. It is Wednesday, not Tuesday. And our blog post this time around is about some estate planning tools. And I know that this is a little bit of a departure from a lot of the content that we do. And we've only really covered things that circumnavigate, taxes and estate planning and wills and trusts on a few occasions over all the years that we've been doing this, because it is relatively complex. It is in far greater detail than we could really put in writing or that I could ever do in a fairly short video blog. So we'll always recommend that you talk to CPAs, financial planners, tax attorneys, estate attorneys, so on and so forth, which is what we do to gather up some of this data and then try to generalize it so that it makes a little more sense. But again, very complex subject. So this time around, we are talking about an estate planning tool that a lot of property owners use in order to avoid probate, which is a living trust. And we do talk a little bit about what a living trust is and that it still enables things to go on like selling, refinancing, renting out investment property, moving, updating trust terms, all those kinds of things. We do cover a bit about why real estate is often placed in a trust, whether it's because of court supervision or legal expenses or property transfers or trying to have preset instructions on what to do when we're talking about end game strategies, those kinds of things, just to relieve stress at that point. Obviously, a lot of it is to avoid probate. One of the big things about avoiding probate is that there's a privacy factor. The trust is going to be private, and probate documents are public record. So there is some good motivation from a privacy standpoint to do this rather than just letting an estate and the real estate in that estate go through probate. Gives an opportunity to plan for someone's incapacity, how the taxes are going to get paid, how to manage rental income, how to manage the property, how to oversee a sale, those kinds of things. We do talk about how the property gets placed into a trust, and we do talk a bit about where the situations that are relevant to where living trust makes sense, like multiple properties or properties in more than one state, smoothing out the inheritance process, not getting caught up in probate delays, those kinds of things. So there are situations where it may not be necessary. We do briefly talk about that. We certainly do talk about why real estate professionals talk about trust, why this is a relevant piece of what we do in real estate and in mortgages. And then obviously why it may potentially be a smart step for protecting all of that property, all of that real estate contained within your estate. It is a lengthy blog post. It does have an awful lot of information, and it is still just scratching the surface of how this particular subject goes. So please do take all of that with a grain of salt, as well as our apologies for any technical issues in getting this out in a timely manner once again. Just when we think we have it fixed, we stumble upon a new little glitch. In any case, thank you to everyone who participated in giving us the content regarding this blog. And certainly thank you to all of you that either subscribe to that blog, and you can do that if you'd like on our website, and you can just read it outright on our website. That's at the bottom of your screen, corefinancegroup.com. And thank you to everyone who's watching the subsequent video blog to that data. So that's it this time around. I did keep it fairly brief considering the robust nature of the content. So thank you, and hope you guys are all doing well, and we'll see you again next time.